All right, I'm gonna do some more work on this Mustang today. See if I get something done with it. So I just put the dash, all the Zeus fasteners in place, and like I said, with all them in place, all this up here is nice and tight, but then this is flopping around in the breeze. So we're gonna do that first. All right, where we left off, I made this pedestal for the shifter, but I'm gonna get this, right? I'm gonna get that situated first. So I'm gonna make a little bracket with a Zeus fastener there in the middle. And then 2 holes in the column right there. With a little stainless steel nut and bolts with some washers and stuff to hold that. And that'll support all that. There's really nothing else to support once that's in. It's nice and tight. And then I can mount the shifter to this, put this over there, put the shifter where it's going to go, mount the shifter to it with some studs so the shifter will come off. This stays in place. That'll get welded to that spot and it won't come off no more. And then you could still take the dash off completely if you really want to take it off, but really no need to take it off. I mean, everything's pretty accessible. The only thing you would take it off for would be maybe if you want to change gauges or something like that, but there's really no reason to take that off. So alright, so let's get to it. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to mount that like that. I'm going to cut this tab down and mount the tab to that so that it sits flush with that. That'll go there. And then this tab will go like that. Welded to this rather than welded to the floor. It'll be a little bit shorter in length. A little bit lighter. Alright, and then I just need enough room to make one Zeus fastener like right there. Okay, so that's where the shifter is going to end up going. I'm going to mark the holes, right, like that, and then that's where the studs are going to come through, and that's it. Alright. Round it off a little bit. off. And then weld that to that. That'll go just like that. That's gonna have a spacer. Zeus fastener bracket. Alright, so this is mounted like this. Zeus fastener bracket on the top. This has 3 holes, 3 bolts coming through it like that. This is going to get welded there. And then the shifter will come off and it'll be nice and solid. Alright. Okay, so we got studs mounted here. We got this mounted here. The Zeus fastener made a hole. And I'm just going to get this is a 550 in here now. This one's a 500. I'm going to try that one real quick. That one's going to fit better. And then I'll line this up and weld this in. Okay, yeah, definitely. Okay, that's why you got to have more than one. I got packs of these. Well, this is a 500. I tried a 600, a 550. So that's a 550. And the one that's in there now is a 500. So that fits nice. Because depending on the thickness of the material and the spring and the metal, then depends on what you're using. So you got to have different ones. All right, so now that's going to sit like that. I'm going to sit this thing set square in here, even with the floor. I rounded all the edges off nice and clean, so the carpet will go right over this, and then it'll be black. And then you just put the shifter down on top of that. You got 3 nuts holding it on, and you're done. Over here, we're going to bolt that on, and I'm going to put a little spacer in there. Maybe I'll make something out of aluminum or something, because if you pull on it, it starts pulling on everything, which you don't want to pull on, because then it's going to crack. So it would have been nice if this was further down, but it's kind of welded all the way around, so it ain't like I could just take it off. So I'll make a nice little spacer there, and that'll be that. And then we could tighten up all that stuff. That can all be plugged in, and then I could finish doing my wiring. I'm going to run the cable for the shifter. I'm going to run the wires down to the transmission for the trans brake. Run the wires for the button on the shifter. We're moving right along. Alright. Alright. Got that all on there. Nice and solid now. No, nothing's moving. So picture this all rugged, and then the little studs will be sticking out. You just stick the shifter right on there, bolt it down, and that's it. It's done. Nothing moves. Alright, so that's how that goes. Now what I got to do is I got to line up something here, probably about that far. I got to make a hole here for the shifter cable to go through, and then I can run the cable and put the cable on here. This wire will get run down here and over like that. I might even be able to just make a hole right here and run the wire down. This way it's not dangling all over the place, and it'll be underneath. I mean, either way, it don't matter actually, because it's going to have a plug, so the plug will be able to plug the other side already has a plug like this. So if we do need to do that, I'll make a hole here and run the wire through. This way there's no wires hanging all over the place. I think I'm going to do that. That's it. Alright, so got that mounted there like that. That we don't have to do nothing with because it's solid. A nylon mounting bolts right there. This thing you can rock the whole car with. Alright, so that's all tight. That's all tight. Now all this stuff can get plugged in and tucked in there. I can run the temperature sender, oil pressure sensor, for the gauge. We got the hole made for the shifter. The hole made for the shifter cable. Got that run. Got the hole made for that, so this wire could go down in there and under the plate so you don't see it at all. Getting there now. So dashboard is nice and tight. No flopping around or nothing. Let's see. I'm gonna make the plug for that a little bit shorter because it doesn't have to be that long now that the wire is running inside. And so it'll have a plug over, let me show you. So this was the plug, right? This was the plug for that. So I'm gonna shorten it and it'll be right here. So you just unplug it right here. And then the wire will be underneath that. And then that'll be done. And there's a neutral safety switch. I gotta wire that into here. Okie dokie. Let's do it. Alright, so got the underneath all done. Got a nice plug there. Got a connector with the wires going up. One's ground, one's power, right to the trans brake. Alright, solenoid. Alright. Okay, so we got plug for the shifter. That's for the line lock. I'm gonna make another one for, gotta take the shifter apart, and then inside here on the bottom, right, you gotta run a wire to each one of those. That's for the neutral safety switch. So I'm gonna put a pigtail on it, about a foot long or whatever, so we can take it in and out if you have to, without having to unplug. Because to get to that, you got to put this has to be put together. It sits like that, and there's no way I couldn't even see the other plug, even if you wanted to. So you got to take it apart, take the pin out if there's a pin, take the pin out, and then you're able to lift this up, and then you could see it from that side. So I'm going to run the wires to that. I'm going to put some insulated terminals on it, and then run that to the other wire with a plug, so you could just unplug it.
Okay, so we just figured out all our wires for the switches to the window.
Oh, yeah. All right, everything's all wired. Everything's wired. I gotta just run these to the front of the engine. Shifter, line lock, all that. Trans brake, everything works. We gotta take this off, paint
that
some
black.
paint on it. After I'm done with this, I'll blow everything out. Right now, I gotta get these. I gotta get this thing to fit
So
in here.
both the window switches are gonna go in there. Yeah. These the white lights up blue.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. So it's like a universal
deal. They work.
This is for the
our lights.
Yep.
Cool.
The interior light. All this stuff works. We already checked all that. All that works. So it's coming along now. Hopefully, I'll be done today with it. I'm going to start making this thing. I need you to find a hole to run these to the front of the engine bay.
Yep.
All right. Give me that air hose, please.
All
right.
right.
Good to go. So to make this fit right, obviously, this takes time. So you gotta
go real slow.
You gotta go slow. If you make the hole too big, then
there's nothing for it to actually hold on to. I got a rubber grommet. I'm gonna put it through that hole right there. So I'm running these two lines.
You got a hole?
Yeah.
Good. I need that. You gotta see if maybe you're gonna have to split
I got
that.
it. Yeah, I know. I'm gonna. Slowly but surely.
Alright, so what we're doing is, instead of running that nylon plastic line for the oil pressure, we're going to run a steel braided line. So he's changing the fitting on the back of the gauge. And we're going to use that steel braided line like that. Okay, and then over here, these are the switches for the, I made the hole, right? The hole's made for the switch. So I'm making a plug for it so we can unplug it without having to unplug it there, because those are hard to get on and off. So this will have a plug to come on and off. And then this will be the driver's side, and the other end will be the passenger side. Same thing, I'm going to put a plug on each one. This way it comes, well, this side will go with that. This side's got to be able to come off too. Alright, so everything gets unplugged. You ain't cutting wires when you got to take something apart. Alright, got the window back in. This side's all done. This side goes up and down. Battery's low, but it goes up and down. Window goes all the way to the top. And closes nice. So we've got a nice seal all the way down. It's good. It don't hit. These have that window that when you close the door, it'll go up even higher and like really tucked in. And I think that's gonna be good. So, I mean, it's all the way up. It ain't getting no higher than that. So, adjusted it like that. Window works. I just gotta tie that one wire up. I gotta put a wire loom inside the door where the door turns. I mean, where the door opens and closes. And plug this in again so we can see. All right, so this side's done. This side I got to take the window out. So what we ended up doing on the other side, you see how many wires this thing has? This has, I think it had three, let me see, three different relays in there. That when you close the door, it would trigger it and make it go up that little bit and close that little bit. You know, open and close that much actually, or a little, might even be a little bit less than that. But got rid of that. I'll show you when I do this one. Basically, I had to go into the motor, take the motor apart, bypass all the relays, and go right to the brushes. Okay, under there is all done. That's all tucked and nice. So you can see that in there. That's all done. All the wires are done. Fuses. Gauge is done. Window switches. Lights. So lights go on like that and like that. And that's it. The only other thing left to do is put the rug in it so we can mount the shifter permanently and hook the cable up. I already tested that, make sure that's going to work. And under the hood, I need to get a fitting for this. The correct fitting. I think that is the correct fitting, but I can't get nothing to screw into that, so I think that might be, either it's got a burr on it or something. I got to figure that out. And then I got to put an end on here because we changed over to steel braided hose. Okay, and then I'll put the tighten the spark plugs up, put the wires on it, and we'll probably get it running. So next couple of days we'll be done. I got to take this apart. I got to do this side, and that's it. All the wiring is done. Done. All right, so I already ran the wires to this. I already have the one end all connected, all wired. The connector's wired. So once I take this apart, I already got a connector pigtail made up for that. I just got to do the deal in there. See if I get that. All right, so if you want to know how to take the window out, you got 1, 2, 3 holding the motor on. There's 2, you get them through the hole. At this point I couldn't do it through the hole, but there's 2 10mm studs that look like this, that go through it and through the glass. Take those 2 out, the glass slides right out the top. And then you take, there's 1, 2, 3, and one underneath 4. 4 that hold this on. So you got 1 here, 2, 3, 4. The glass sits in this channel. The stud goes, that bolt goes right through each one like that. That's what holds the glass. So now what I'm doing is take this plug off. I'm going to take the motor off. Take this off. There's a relay board in here with a relay in it, with the relays in it. I'm going to take that apart. Run the wires in. I'm drilling 2 holes, and then I'm going to drill another hole out the side. Run the wire in and hook it up right to the brushes. Run the wire back out through the hole and put my pigtails on like this. So this will be the pigtail going on it, and then that'll plug into the other harness I already made up. I'll show you what it looks like when I get it off. Alright, so this is attached to this. You take the 4 bolts out, pull the cover off, and then you take the motor, the armature, and spin it, and the armature and this will come out as one unit, like together. Okay? Then you take that off, and all you're doing is separating it from the brushes. So now what I'm going to do is I took this, I gutted all that crap out of it, right? So now I'm going to make a hole in here that's going to come out right there. And I can run my 2 wires in, and I'm going to attach 1 wire to that and 1 wire to that. And I'm going to make another hole there, come out the back. Alright, so that goes like that. That goes like that. Gets attached to the brushes. Brushes still move in and out nice and clean. Now I'll put it back together. Okay. Windows all back together. Goes up and down. Door closes nice. Good seal all the way around. We're done. Alright. So next thing is fix those things under the hood. Put some wire looms in between the door. And waiting on a couple things. We're waiting on, he ordered the carpet, so we could put all the carpet down, install the shifter and the cable for good, and then the thing's done. Get ready to start it up. He's gonna put all his aluminum interior and stuff in it, but other than that, rear end dry shaft is next. And that's it. Alright, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Make sure you hit the like button. Hit the like button. We need you guys to hit the like button. Thank you.